Trucks.
Boo.
Today's Trucks subject is, how are you, Isaac?
Oh, I'm doing okay, Josh. It's an old-fashioned Ramble Trucks.
Good old Ramble Trucks.
First one we've done in a little while. Also, excitingly, I just got off of work. Well, not just. It's been a few hours now. But we're experimenting with that just for fun. See if me being a little extra sleepy. Whoa! Right out the gate with the turning into the wrong lane and
Head-on collision with another truck, a larger truck.
Well, that's a sign of
doesn't
things
usually
to come.
happen like that. Or maybe we're getting it all out of the way early.
That was very exciting.
It's enough excitement for me for one day. Today's objective... Oh, thanks for getting out of my way, buddy. Today's objective is that we are taking a mix tank to the Grand Canyon.
It's very exciting. You're going to want to tune into the visual element of this trucks to see whether the Grand Canyon is really all that it's cracked up to be in trucks form.
Yeah, I think we've passed it in the past, but I don't think we've ever made it a destination.
This time we get to actually huck a piece of equipment right down into it, and that's an exciting prospect.
Here's an unexciting detail I'm picking out. This truck's dashboard is new. I've never seen this before.
Look at all those dials.
The blue rim on them, and the too small to read numbers. That's what we like to see.
It's very exciting. It's a Mack truck, Mack brand truck.
Yeah.
So what's new with me? I've started to shave my head.
Ooh, yeah, I saw a picture. Can I put a picture up?
No, I'd prefer you didn't do that.
Okay, fair enough.
I took all of the hair off of my head.
Looks good.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I like feeling it. And I'm also now challenged and enriched by the process of touching it up every couple of days.
Yeah, are you keeping it shaved, or are you letting it fuzz in?
Yeah, I'm letting it fuzz in because I just really enjoy feeling the fuzz. I'm sure the novelty will wear off eventually, but it really hasn't yet. I'm just like feeling my own dome right now, and it's great. But I've got myself a sort of a skull shaver type of dealie, which doesn't work particularly well, and also I have tried shaving it with just a razor, like a
straight razor.
Your standard,
not a straight razor.
Not a straight
one of those
razor,
like four
standard
razors. Yeah.
Face shaving razor, and that worked pretty well, but it took longer. Fascinating stuff, I know, but it's like
we're changing our appearance. I mean, you are.
It's the premier new challenge of my life. Yeah, no, I'm doing this to acknowledge various transitions. It's been an interesting time for me in terms of like a bunch of like long-term social relationships that I've had have changed over the past couple of months in various ways. I've either terminated or altered or brand new, or it's a wave of new relations.
Hey. That's a song that's been playing in my ear a lot lately.
Has it really? That's interesting.
Yeah, it plays at the bar.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so yeah, I no longer have to hold on to my rapidly thinning curls, and so I decided to get rid of them in favor of the dome look.
Yeah,
which is good. It's prompting me. I mean,
hey,
I'm always like
I just want to acknowledge for a second that the actual lyric in the Pixies song is "wave of mutilation," not new relations. Yeah. Although I've always heard it as new relation.
Oh, really? You're not the only one. See, I got that from an Adam Buxton podcast where he had always heard it as "wave of new relations." So you and he are simpatico on that front. I never heard it that way personally.
But you didn't question it when I caught it as a reference to the song.
Yeah, because you're clever and smart.
Wow. My hair journey is kind of in an opposite condition. I mean, it's not like I've particularly changed anything. Maybe I'm taking better care of it or something. But also, I think my hair has just reached a sufficient length of hippiedom where suddenly everyone's complimenting it all the time.
Yeah, I saw a recent picture of you, dude, and like not to get too glad-handedly, but I think that you're looking pretty good too these days.
Yay,
That's a
you.
look that seems to work for you.
I always thought it was my look all along, but it turns out my hair needed to reach a certain length, and I had been keeping it at bay for a while by getting maintenance cuts every once in a while. That kept my hair, like, not long enough to kind of be sufficiently heavy to just go down instead of sideways, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, that's an important threshold to cross. Me being a curly-headed boy, like, I never... It took far too much length to even get to that point.
Right.
It kept going out instead of down forever, essentially. But yeah, no, you gotta get past the sort of the Aunt Margaret stage and into a hairstyle that looks intentional.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of dovetails with what I was going to say, which is that, I'm always on the lookout for an archetype to inhabit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know what to make of myself as a general matter. Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds. Tumbleweeds again.
Hey! I don't know what to make of myself as a general matter, and so I will sometimes just make changes to my appearance and look at myself in an attempt to see, based on the visual clues that I have gleaned from culture over the years, what somebody who looks like that might be. If you see what I mean. There was that phase where I was like growing out the horrible little mustache and was, wearing Hawaiian shirts and the hat.
Oh, sure.
There were a few people in the Discord who were kind of horrified that that's the direction that I was choosing to take, and wanted me to stop. And they weren't wrong.
I liked it. I thought it worked.
Well, I mean, it was more of a...
Your appearance is surprisingly flexible. You can take on a lot of different types, it turns out.
Yeah, which is not helpful to me because like I'm continuously in search of a mode, and if I can pull off many modes, it's fine to be like the chameleon, but then who is the man?
How is your
underneath
current
all of
mode
that?
being received?
The Aladdin sane. I mean, I've mostly just showed it off to folks at work who were nonplussed by me anyway, for the most part. But nobody's reacted with horror. It seems to work. Fine.
Do you feel like you're being taken as like a particular genre of human being with your current appearance, or are you straddling straddling some threshold somewhere?
It's not there yet. I can see a direction to go in, which will involve probably tattoos, maybe doing some more serious like martial arts stuff. Just I want to look like a bouncer.
Nice.
I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. Suits you.
See, suits me. Why not?
You have.
You'll tend the bar, and I'll throw people out. We can have a.
You've always had a talent for being physically imposing.
That's true. But
and a talent for not taking people's guff.
Those
are
both
bouncerly
true
qualities.
But sadly, that is the third quality of actually being able to enact physical violence on people is never something that I've been particularly good at. So I need to develop that last one.
You've been good at threatening people with it. You've made people frightened, which is...
Well, that's it. I mean, enough protective coloration.
Yeah.
And you never have... I mean, the ideal thing is that you never have to use those
fight without
skills
fighting.
once you have them.
Exactly.
Right? But really, you ought to be able to back it up a little bit, just in case your bluff is called.
Especially if you're a professional bouncer. I mean, come on.
Exactly, or else you end up getting kicked in the head outside of Lucy's Lounge.
It happened. Someone else got into a fight there recently. Someone got the shit beat out of him.
It was Punchable Pat, wasn't
it? It was, in fact, Punchable.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Almost.
Yeah, no. Monica's been feeding me the straight poop.
The straight poop. There's so much
from the Lucy's scene.
I got my gear shift all confused. We're fine. At least I didn't collide with that police SUV.
See, I altered his name there, not on purpose, but
Oh, you actually? See, I thought it was a
right?
funny coincidence that you were close.
No, I know all about Punchable.
Well, I'm bleeping his name every time. Sorry, Punchable. No one actually calls him that. There is a guy people call Creepy Larry. Anyway.
What a cast of characters you
For real.
There.
I was talking to the bartender at another place, and like, He seemed to sort of be offering me a job at the place that I was at. But he was also like, but you like dreamed of working at Lucy's Lounge? That makes me question you. Like,
how would you describe the rep that Lucy's has among other bars?
oh god, especially now, it's like total trash. I mean, that's not to say that my rep is bad for bar backing there. What I've been hearing is like, if you can bar back at Lucy's Lounge, you can probably bar back everywhere, because you're just cleaning up after all those maniacs' mess all the time.
Wow.
Which is not wrong.
Wow, this is just what Lucy's has become, huh? Our little bar.
Lucy's is not doing great, I'm sorry to say.
I'm sorry to hear that. But
I'm not going to air too much of their trash on the air.
Yeah, no, it's sort of a... I was thinking as I showered up before we began this conversation, it's like, I actually don't really want to get into a lot of the stuff that I've been, that's been on my mind or I've been doing lately, because it's all too personal and all too
kind of
implicatory,
Kind of same. Let's talk about some abstract shit. Let's talk about...
let's
talk about regulating one's appearance. Or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I started to do, and then we suddenly got into punchable.
See, when it comes to regulating one's appearance, it's important to not be punchable. It's important to steer clear of punchable vibe.
Yeah, no, you don't want that vibe. That vibe seems to get you punched, as far as I can tell.
It's of course mostly a matter of the way punchable behaves. I'm giving myself so much fucking bleeping to do. Let's return to calling him punchable Pat, please.
Okay, will do. Your tales of this group is reminding me of the LSAT tutors I used to hang out with when I worked at Kaplan. A bunch of functional alcoholics, if ever there were any, with a couple of asterisks after functional.
Sure.
But good poker nights, I guess. It is really amazing how you can just sort of be a revenant essentially and still manage to live in New York and do your job, which might even be a professional job, and still, like, when you're done with your professional, say, for example, not naming any names, you can go back to the bar you're hanging out at and just become a horrible mess for the rest of the evening.
Yep.
But
I like it. I don't know if this is a bad sign for me, but I find that I really enjoy being like the apparently sane person in this crowd. Kind of like that.
Does not surprise me.
Kind of like that. There's a bartender whose vibe that used to be, who no longer works there, Chris something. You once said he looked like Morgan Freeman. You meant Gordon Freeman.
I did, and meant Gordon Freeman. Yes, I remember him.
That guy always had a very calm and collected vibe. I got to see him kick Punchable Pat out of the bar one time many years ago.
You're assuming the role of the straight man in a world of goofs.
Yeah.
You're the Tsukomi to a world full of bouquets.
And you know what's great is that the goofs fucking eat that shit right up.
I mean, what is a goof without a straight man?
Yeah.
So it's a niche, and much like attempting to turn oneself into a real human being by dressing a certain way, or
letting one's hair grow out, or shaving one's hair, or whatever.
Or shaving one's head. One can grow into a particular personality simply by falling into a social niche.
Yeah. That's true.
Which, it's not a bad... as long as you continue to be the same one and are aware that you will ruin it if you fall off the deep end like these fuckers, then that doesn't seem like too bad an idea.
Yeah. So far, so good. It's been working out. But, I guess I am performing some introspection on why it is that being surrounded by crazy drunk people appeals to me more than... joining an artist's workshop or attending a meetup.com group for old people who play ping pong. I mean, what is it that people do? What is it that people do?
I imagine that it reminds you of home, so...
Of home. Of my parents' house? Is that what
Well,
you mean?
at least like being toasted all the time.
That's true. I did used to get toasted a lot when I went back to visit home. But I'm not the one. I'm not getting toasted particularly.
Right. I don't know that I don't know what the comfort level is there.
I hope that there's more to it than sort of being the one-eyed man among the blind. You know, like being the most sober person.
I was gonna say, like, if it were me, in this situation, the take that I would have for myself is, well, that makes me feel, superior and in control, and therefore I'm comfortable. I mean, that's never really been your deal.
Yeah, maybe not so much. I don't think, but maybe.
But I mean, it's still a comfortable position to be in,
yeah,
regardless of who you are.
It's true. Well, most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I've also chosen to leave the post office that I've been working at for the last 6 months, which is mostly staffed by relatively normal people, and go back to my home office, which is staffed by like some truly nuts individuals, because I feel more comfortable there, among other reasons.
Is it true sight or is it wrong head to be among people? Here's something that hasn't literally happened, but we'll use it as a synecdoche anyway. Like people falling on the ground and peeing their pants. Like people who are just losing it. Is it justified for me to kind of have the feeling about that? Like, this is authentic living. Like these are people in their unfiltered radiance peeing their pants.
I mean, if you're able to find the beauty in that, then, like, good on you, I would say. Find your beauty where you can find it. Like, I think that the world... I think that a drunk person falling on the floor and peeing their pants is a more accurate reflection of the world as it is than,
yeah. Whatever else you might choose.
Right. Than sort of the life that my brother has found himself in.
I don't know anything about your brother's current situation.
He's living. He is now a homeowner. And
wow.
He and his wife both have real jobs, and they're young urban professionals.
Ooh, God. Well. See that does strike cold terror in my heart. I don't know. Something about me just feels like I couldn't possibly live in that kind of a world without becoming permanently claustrophobic.
You're a wild man, Josh. You gotta be free.
I guess.
If you like to gamble, I tell you, you're the man. Win some, lose some, it's all the same to you. I mean, maybe this ties into sort of the larger shift in perspective, which I'm currently experiencing. Which, again, I don't know if it's giving up or coming to a truer understanding of the world around me, but like, I've largely checked out of following politics, and having sort of embraced the suck, as it were.
Yeah.
I'm finding it much easier to access the small joys, which justify the whole shooting match. Can I just say that this sunrise that we're currently experiencing in game is choice?
Oh yeah, it's top notch sunrise. Yeah. Let's get the wider view of it. Beautiful.
Yeah, that is really good stuff.
I feel you completely on this matter of sort of hard to sum that up, but that thing you just said, sort of letting in the minutia as a sort of, not, you could say, a replacement for hope.
Well, what is hope if not future focus, right?
Yeah.
Why must we be focused on the future or the past?
Indeed, there's plenty in the present, and plenty about the present can kind of reveal that brightness and love prevail, even as we slip toward oblivion. I think that
Yeah, I mean that's the human condition in a nutshell, is it not?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Regardless of what is happening to the planet that we live on, we're all individually slipping into oblivion, and so it's a more internally consistent way to conceive of the world, I feel.
Yeah. Now the question just remains whether it's engendering a disease in oneself to spend too much time around people who are kind of, I don't necessarily want to say like down and out, but who are not taking particularly good care of themselves.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, like, just based on my experience, I have had many different social circles over the years. And sometimes I've been in the company largely of people who are either, taking care of themselves or striving to better themselves. And sometimes I've been in the company of the down and out for longer periods of time. And I will say that if you remain too long in the company of the down and out, you will eventually begin to lose what's the best way to put this? You may, if you linger too long in these spaces, you will no longer have anything to glean from them, and then you will just be losing time.
Interesting. Could be.
That is my feeling about it, and I mean it could be. That could just be my normal stance on everything, which is that I get restless and want to do something else, no matter what it is, no matter what situation I found myself in. But I don't think that like it tarnishes your soul or anything like that.
If anything, I think soul-wise, it's pretty good.
Right. I mean, it's if nothing else, it's good for your empathy.
It's good for your empathy. It's grounding in a way, and
yeah,
you meet some really fascinating characters. Like my favorite, kind of my favorite genre of person that I've encountered so far, among the barflies, is the sort of person who like used to be very violent in some way, but who has kind of taught themselves kindness in the intervening years.
Yeah.
There's been like a few of those. And they always, they're always kind of suspiciously extra with the friendliness, but like also very genuine with it. You encounter. I mean, like when someone had to teach themselves goodness, that's a way to be sure that it's the real deal.
Or at the very least that it will stand up to more. In the way of it will not immediately melt into Karendom,
yeah,
when challenged. Part of it is that I think that this suits you, This has always been pretty congruent with your areas of interest.
Yeah.
The thing is that like my problem in these situations is that often my particular brain worms will tell me, "Oh, I have to help."
Oh yeah.
Which is not correct. That is not the right impulse, and that is the impulse that will ruin this kind of shit for you. Whereas I suppose that the correct sort of inverted impulse there is I have to be decent.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, more the thing.
Sometimes just listening is all that's required.
Yeah, and you being the barman, or the barman adjacent, that will come up.
Oh man. I'm hesitant to make this another Bar Trucks. We did one not too long ago. But there are so many little events.
Tell your stories. I mean, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
It's not, we're not, waxing lyrical about the about the state of unfettered optimism in the world, which I absolutely failed to notice anywhere outside of your particular,
I think
bar scene. But
that's reducing what I was talking about a little bit. But anyway, there's this one regular who I shall not name. Everybody, actually, I think I won't tell this one.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with Tales from the Demi-Monde. I spend so little time there.
I feel that there is the inkling of a grander theme here. Some like between your bald-headed postman vibes and my long-haired barman vibes. There's some sort of point that we're dangling around here related to vibes and professions and situations and contexts, perhaps. Or maybe I'm reaching. It's possible that I'm reaching.
I think it is possible that you're reaching, but like if you think of what that is, I mean, absolutely tell me. I don't know.
Here it is.
I would. Oh, go ahead. Go for it.
It's that when adjusting how one comes off to the world, one cannot help be kind of collaborating with one's circumstances, one's position in the world. The long-haired thing comes off differently, depending on what I'm doing and how people are encountering me, and it feels fortunate, almost destined, perhaps, to have the long hair thing align, in terms of it looks good now at the same time as getting behind the bar where I have wanted to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still going there. This look is new enough that it hasn't cohered yet. But I think there's a similar thing for me with like the way that Mel Manning has sort of cut way down on my social anxiety over time.
Yeah.
Just because like it's now my habit to assume that people see the uniform and are reacting to that.
Right.
And I'm taking that that feeling in with me even when I'm not wearing the uniform, and yet that still works.
Yeah.
Like, because what is my flesh if not
yeah, I mean,
a series of signifiers.
I vibe with that too. Like, even when I'm not working behind the bar, there's a kind of social. Whoa, what happened? Is everyone okay?
Sorry, I just dropped my headphones. I apologize.
There's a kind of social security in knowing that I'm not just sitting around my room looking like this. I'm looking like this at a place for a purpose, and you can glean some of that if you choose to look closely enough to figure it out. You know what I mean? Same with like having a look that hasn't cohered yet makes a certain amount of sense for a mailman. There's here's another potential reach here, but there's something liminal about the job, so it makes sense to have something liminal about the look.
Could be. I mean, I think that it would be nice if one could, bottle this. I mean, what we're talking about is like confidence and comfort in one's own skin.
Right. And we're kind of grating against the conventional wisdom there. We're sort of saying like, yeah, actually, self-confidence can come from external circumstances instead of like just tapping into your.
Of course it can. I don't know if I've ever said anything. I mean,
no, yeah, but in like advice, in like pat advice that you hear about self-confidence, I feel like you mostly hear like that it comes from some deep place within, some like inviolable well of the spirit, And,
no, I mean, like your confidence in interacting with other people has to be externally based, because how else does that work? Like, I mean, we're talking like confidence comes from having a place in a society,
Right.
And like, for example, watching, me, even though I'm leaving now, like sort of observing the process of, coming to a new station and being, jumpy and freaked out at the beginning and sort of gradually achieving a kind of comfort there, even though it didn't, in this case, even really come with a change in the way that people treated me or anything like that. It's instructive, you know.
Right.
Having a home, having a place where you are comfortable, or just having a place where you know what the drill is.
Yeah.
Even if it's full of people pissing themselves, which in one way or another, post offices tend to. That gives you, you know, a place to stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
place to waggle your Archimedean lever around.
Yeah. What's sort of interesting, though, is that although, to speak for myself at least, although this like kind of boost in self-confidence has come largely from a shift in my circumstances, there's also definitely a mental process that's here going like, oh, well, now that I'm in a place where it's easier to access this, I can see how it was kind of here all along, you know? Like...
The magic feather was inside you all the time, except that you would never have been able to access it without going through this stuff.
Right. At least not in so stable or sustainable a way. But
right.
It doesn't feel.
I mean,
it truly does not feel like transforming into a different person or discovering capacities that I never had.
Yeah.
It is interesting, like how.
Not to get all Jungian on one's ass, but one does have to go questing as part of individuation.
Yeah.
And you never know what your capacities are unless you test them, and try to surpass them and see what happens.
Right.
And I don't know. I found myself capable of a lot of things I didn't know that I was capable of, but I know that, you know, that wasn't me spontaneously developing those abilities.
Right.
It's just a matter of my having turned to the ability that I knew that I had, which is to think and understand systems and work inside them.
Yeah.
To different and new kinds of systems.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to see where we're going to park at the old canyon here.
Yeah.
Things are getting so granular here that it feels like we've kind of stepped outside of the truncated America.
Yeah, it feels almost like 1-to-1 the approach to the Grand Canyon here. Let's see. There's still a lot more grass than I'm used to. I visited the Grand Canyon as a kid. Maybe it had to do with what season it was, but I didn't feel like it was this green in its immediate surrounds.
We've probably passed the restaurant where I once was served a chili relleno, which was still frozen.
Oh my god. I wonder if the viewpoint where I thought my parents had tumbled over and fallen into the canyon is in this game.
One can only hope. But yeah, no, I think that we did in fact reach some sort of point there. So
some sort of point.
Some sort of point was reached.
Go in search of your superpowers, and do it by changing your hair.
Sometimes, I mean, I think that a lot of our, denizens understand that the power behind that all too well.
Yeah.
I did have that sort of like feeling in the. I've perhaps mentioned this before, but unfortunately, the toilet in my bathroom in this apartment is right across from the mirror.
Ooh.
So you just sort of sit there in the morning.
You get to watch yourself shitting.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. Thankfully,
you get to see yourself as your most human.
Exactly, much as you see your clientele. Thankfully, the viewpoint cuts off before you really get down to the nitty gritty. But I was sitting there every morning looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, yeah. And I got the giant upper arms from male carrying and the bald head and the sort of vague soft features that I have always had. And I was like, yeah, no, I could, if I bought a bunch of tank tops and maybe started wearing suspenders, I could be I could fool people into thinking that I was a a butch lesbian just from a distance, like at a
The
different
dream.
place relative to the camera. That
The dream.
yeah, and even this did not give me feelings of gender, which if anything was going to, that probably would. So.
I'm slowly beginning to graduate from gender despair, which is cool. Slowly.
I'm glad to hear that.
Still slowly, but yeah. The inner feminine has become more comfortably expressed. It's all about the dance. There's just not enough space behind the bar, which means you're doing ballet back there, which means the feminine thrives.
I mean, that weirdly, that is also the case with mail delivery. One has to become a little bit more.
God, Isaac, look at this gorgeous straightaway.
Ooh, that's good. Hammer down.
There's the sign that says Grand Canyon.
Yeah, no, we're suspiciously 1-to-1 at this point. It's
Yeah.
like we've moved into a different quantum state of miniature America here.
Yeah,
Ooh, look at that.
lovely. Let me turn off the heads-up display so I can make this the thumbnail. Nice. Let's get the camera just right. Cool. I'll put the word trucks right above that. We did it,
Across
folks.
the big blue sky.
Yeah, right across
Nice
the
job.
horizon.
Oh god, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but it does require a certain amount of physical grace. And it's
Yeah.
always nice.
Yeah.
But I've always been a bit of a dancer. in my
Are we
own way.
human? Or are we dancer?
Are we not men?
We are Devo.
Devo.
Where's the canyon, though? I want to see the canyon. Show me the canyon.
We're like 4 minutes away from it now.
Where's my burrito? I think I dreamed that someone was showing me a recent Simpsons episode, and it was surprisingly good.
Yeah, that would have been a dream.
I don't remember any of its gags, sadly. So my map says Grand Canyon Village. That's the name of the place we're going to. I had not heard of this place before.
I assume it's the village that's right by the Grand Canyon.
There's got to be more than one of those. It's a big canyon.
Well, I just want to see if we can see the thing.
Yeah,
That's the important thing. And
if
you'd
we
think that
can't, we're gonna free cam it. But yeah, they probably will put some sort of view of it near this village.
right, like they wouldn't have bothered to do this whole thing and not gone the last step.
They're pretty careful to make sure that you get a good view of all the like unvisitable skylines as you pull into the major cities.
Oh, I know that toll booth well.
Oh, you do?
Sad that we're about to veer away from it.
Yeah,
we'll
you
have to free cam our way over there.
You can't go there. Okay, I think that's the other side of the canyon in the blue distance.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we're getting something.
And it's like, where the fuck do you park a truck around here?
Right here.
Yeah, there it is.
apparently.
That's the canyon.
No, well, we don't get. Okay, well, boink. There we go. Oh, there's even
Yep.
clouds in it.
Yeah,
Where am I
they
parking?
did it.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay, I'm reversing into that, am I? Okay, here we go.
Okay, so you're just dropping something off at a construction site, essentially.
They told me to
that
go
makes
about
sense.
this in such an annoying way. I guess I can do one of these. Lucy,
It's fine.
my
have
boss
this
Lucy was
amazing-
giving me some advice about handling carts with free pivoting trailers. That sounded like
Mm-hmm.
if I could comprehend it, it would be really fucking useful for parking trucks. Something about how taking wider turns gives you more power over how to remaneuver the trailer, I think, which makes some sense. You want to do big adjustments instead of small adjustments. I think. I don't know. That's not really
You'll
what it was.
You'll learn the truth of this physically.
Yeah.
I think. Man, I remember like when I was trying to teach you how to chop an onion.
Oh man, I still don't know
It's
how to
like-
chop an onion. I'm better at it than I was, but it always still feels like there's got to be a better way.
My door was open this whole time, incidentally. That was what that sound was. Well,
Yeah, that was perfect.
goddamn. Shall we go free camming into the abyss?
Oh my god, look at it.
That's as close as we get, I imagine.
Let's
That
see.
is a oh, they knew that somebody would want to.
The perspective
what
isn't.
what
it's
happens
not,
if you
it's
try?
not even
Yeah,
as
this
forced
is
as you
this is a little bit.
This is where it's
this
gonna
is-
get weird.
This is somewhat disappointing.
Boink.
And that's it. That's
Oh.
as far as we go. Whoa.
There's the good shit right there.
There we go. Now warp your truck here.
Oh god, I won't do it. Oh,
Yeah, I know that place.
I think we free cammed around here before, haven't we? Hey, look at you.
Well, I mean,
Why do you make a
I've been
sound?
there.
Why do you make a sound? How am I ever
For
going to get up to
precise-
you normally?
For precisely this reason. I mean, I assume that the helicopter asset they bought off the Unity flea market.
Where's
comes
the
with
place
it,
that I
so-
parked?
I don't know.
That's not me.
I mean,
I'm trying to get my bearings. Oh, there it is. This, like, it feels a little abbreviated when you look at it from above, right?
oh, definitely.
Let's go
But
find
they
that
did a fine job. I really enjoy how low res the observation tower is.
Yeah.
It's like we're suddenly in Doom.
Can we actually
um,
see that from where we are? If you drive this way, you'd be able to see it. Yeah. You kind of get a...
There she blows.
You'd get a bit of a drive-by and it would look like this, which actually is still pretty low res. Canyon looks fine from where you're supposed to see it. I feel like this guy is not a very confident helicopter pilot.
Well, he appears to be moving at exactly the same speed, at exactly the same vector as the clouds, so I don't know. Gosh. What a thing we're currently witnessing here. I mean, it's not as if it looks real in real life either, let's be
It's
honest. You know, perspective flattens it out.
Yeah,
Like the big building in downtown Portland, which I have spent multiple minutes thinking was 2D before I managed to get it far enough around it to see that it wasn't.
So many delicious shortcuts in the rendering of this helicopter. I love how abruptly its direction just kind of switches when it reaches the end of this straight line that it's navigating up and down. It's almost like it's going in for a fucking landing,
That does appear to be what it's doing.
but it's gonna bounce and go
but
up.
it can't be.
Oh,
What
it
is
just...
going on?
it-
Whoop.
yeah, there we go.
And back we go.
I also like
This is fascinating stuff for audio listeners.
I
do
love the
apologize,
speed at
folks.
which its rotor is spinning. Like, you can very clearly... Maybe you're viewing this at 15 frames a second, so maybe it doesn't look right to you, but...
I mean, it looks like it's going whoa, 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 whoa to
Yeah,
me.
it's spinning at about... It's spinning at what I would call a ceiling fan kind of pace. Although, hey, you know what? When it goes... Check this out. When I'm under it, it looks like it's going one direction, and when I'm over it, it looks like it's going the other direction. You see that? Counterclockwise. Clockwise.
Josh, we really ought to.
Counterclockwise.
Josh,
Clockwise.
we really
No.
ought to end this truck snap.
Someone
Josh.
out there thinks this is cool. And it's me. Why is that happening?
I don't know, Josh.
Why is that happening? Anyway. Truck
Truck.
parked. It's been beeping this whole
Oh.
time.
There you go. Well, I hope that next time we meet, we have taken another inch toward the selves that we have decided to construct ourselves as.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling optimistic about it. I wish I knew how to impart that gift upon the world. This
I'm
was
not feeling unoptimistic myself, weirdly. I don't know what that's about. It's not as though things have, changed appreciably. I think that I'm just feeling potentials in the world.
I think we should have a Trex about giving up on hope and how that's actually one of the best things you can do for your overall happiness.
Particularly when the hope that you might have been holding on to was way out of whack and was sort of projected onto you by other people when you were young.
Yeah.
Giving up on that and just being like, okay, then what's this then?
Indeed. That'll be a good one someday soon.
Yeah. I mean, we sort of just did it, but
I don't know that we did. Not really. Right? We touched on it, but I think there's so much more there. Maybe not. We'll find out.
well, stay tuned, folks, for what will possibly be an even more discursive trucks
Yeah.
further down the pipe.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.